I think ending the stigma starts with education and almost reconnecting folks with the plant. I think for the majority of my life, I viewed cannabis under a negative lens because I grew up in the church. I grew up with very strict Asian parents. We were refugees before we came to America. So my parents, anything that could risk our livelihood in America was deemed unpleasant, and that we were to follow a certain rule book to ensure that, their children had opportunities. So for the most part, my adult life growing up was very much following the straight and narrow. But then I went to college, and it wasn't necessarily like, oh, let's do this, let's have fun. It was like, I can't sleep, I can't eat. I am going from a really small high school into a really big university. And one of my really good friends was like, well, why don't you take a puff and see maybe if you can sleep? And I did sleep. I slept amazing. And I remember like eating a meal and really enjoying the food. And I realized I'm like, oh wow, I'm starting to use this not so much for quote unquote fun, but I am almost self-medicating and going on this self-discovery journey of cannabis. When it came to my dad and introducing, it was tooth and nail, fighting tooth and nail. It was a lot of talking to his doctors and trying to get them to understand and be open to it, talking not only, with my dad and convincing him, it was convincing my mom too, that this wasn't harmful. And then at the end of the day, my dad was battling with lung cancer. So this was a no smoking kind of situation. For him, he had no exposure and no safe exposure at that. So that's when I was like, well, we can source products from the medical dispensary and we can start using CBD. I was trying to explain to him, like, this is a sort of cannabis that's very low in THC, but it's going to help you maybe address the inflammation going on in your body, address the stress levels that you're dealing with. And it started with like a completely THC-free, CBD-only oil. Then we graduated to full spectrum hemp products. Unfortunately, my dad passed away in 2019, and it left a huge toll on our family, including our family dog Snowball. And Snowball started going through a lot of health issues, and we thought, well, let's try CBD. I told my mom, I'm like, it can't hurt him. So we started using CBD, and we started Snowball getting better. His mood was getting better. And my mom, I think throughout my dad's treatment time, she always had a sense of doubt in her head that like, how could this be helping? But when it finally helped Snowball out, it was a click moment for her, right? That this did help her husband, and now it is helping her furry friend that's at home taking care of her now. So I think then my mom became curious. She's like, how can I use this? I think the biggest misconception we have about cannabis in 2023 is that we have to, there's only one method to consume it, which is smoking it. Now we're able to explore these different pathways of topicals, edibles, beverages are really on the rise in the cannabis industry. And number two is like understanding now with more research and more access, especially with more states going online in terms of legalization, we're seeing availability of products and of different cannabinoids on the market. And then we become a source of education and information so folks can understand the different players that exist in this complex cannabis plant. We know marijuana has always been around, but it's reconnecting with the plant in 2023 in this modern day and age, and being able to explore what types of products are out on the market and what types of different remedies, so to say, that are out there. It's consistently really re-explaining, reiterating, and re-educating, like, hey, this is a plant, this is a medicine, and here are people who use it.